You know that feeling, right? You work your tail off all month, you see that salary notification pop up, and you open your bank account only to see a number that feels, well, just wrong. That gap between what you earned and what you got isn't just you. The source material we're breaking down today argues it's all by design. Let's get into it. And bam, our source just comes right out of the gate with this line. It's meant to hit you right where you feel it. It validates that sinking feeling that your paycheck is just making a pit stop in your account before flying off somewhere else. The core idea here? You're not just working for yourself. You're a primary source of revenue for the state. So this leads us to the first big and kind of painful idea from our source, that the salary you were promised is probably the cruelest optical illusion you'll ever encounter in your career. On one hand, you've got the expectation, that big, beautiful, hopeful number you saw in your employment contract. And then there's reality, the much smaller number that actually lands in your bank account. So what's with the magic trick? Well, it's because before you even get a chance to touch your own money, a big chunk of it is already gone. Okay, so what's really happening here? The analysis we're looking at points to one central concept it calls the double kill tax. This is basically a two-part system that's set up to systematically drain your purchasing power. All right, the first punch in this 1-2 combo is PP21, your income tax. The source calls this the upstream cut. It's the first hit. And it's a progressive tax, which basically means the harder you work and the more you earn, the more aggressively they take a slice right out of your paycheck. This is that first deduction you see on your payslip that makes you wince. But hold on, it's not over yet. The second hit, the follow-up punch, is PPN, or value-added tax. This is what the source calls the downstream cut. Now get this, this tax applies to the money you have left over after your income tax was already taken out. So every time you buy something, groceries, a cup of coffee, phone data, you are getting taxed a second time on money that's already been taxed once. So let's just put that together, nice and simple. Your money gets hit on the way in with income tax, and then it gets hit again on the way out with value-added tax. According to this analysis, you are literally being squeezed from both ends. That right there, that is the double kill. And man, this quote just nails that feeling, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that sense of being completely powerless in a fight that feels totally rigged. You're just trying to protect what's yours, but you're getting hit from two different directions at once. But the argument goes even deeper than just the money that gets taken. It's not just about the taxes themselves. The analysis also digs into the frustrating paperwork and what it calls a completely broken social contract. This analogy for tax reporting is just perfect. Think about it. Your taxes are already cut automatically by your company. They're gone. You've paid. But the system still says, nope. Now it's your job to report all of this correctly. So you've already paid for the meal, but now you have to go into the kitchen and do the dishes yourself. And if you make one tiny mistake, you get fined. The analysis also points out this really stark contrast. When it comes to collecting your money, this system is portrayed as being incredibly efficient, almost ruthless. It'll track you down for every last cent. But when it's time for the system to deliver the public services those taxes are supposed to pay for, suddenly it's slow, it's unresponsive, and you're just told to be patient. And all of this leads to what the source calls the broken social contract. The fundamental deal should be simple. You pay your taxes, and in return, you get reliable public services. But it feels completely one-sided. You pay late, you get fined. The state is late to serve you, well, all you can do is wait and maybe pray. Okay, so after all of that, it's easy to feel pretty hopeless. But don't. The analysis doesn't just lay out the problem. It also offers some practical, legal, and pretty intelligent ways for you to actually fight back and protect your hard-earned money. So here are the three main strategies. First up, triple check your non-taxable income status, your PTKP, with HR. If it's wrong because you got married or had a kid, you are literally just donating free money to the state. Second, if you're up for a raise, think about negotiating for benefits instead of just cash, things like a company car or meal allowances. And third, if you have a side hustle, look into the 0.5% final tax for microbusinesses. Our source actually calls it a legal tax haven for the everyday person. And beyond those big strategies, here's your personal defense toolkit. The source says you need to keep barbaric archives. Basically, become a document hoarder. Never throw away a single payslip or tax form. Also, save every receipt for official donations you make because they can be tax deductible. Learn the simplest tax form for your situation to kill the stress. And here's a big one. If you ever get one of those dreaded audit letters from the tax office, do not hide. Face it head on with all those documents you've been saving. So to just boil it all down, the reality being painted here is pretty harsh. It's a world defined by a double kill tax system, a reporting process that feels like a nightmare, and public services that often feel more like a myth than something you can actually rely on. And this is the final, really provocative thought we're left with. The analysis wants to shift your focus. Stop debating whether it's fair. That's a dead end. Instead, start taking personal action. This isn't about breaking the law. It's about a powerful push to become smarter with your money, to understand the rules of the game so you can play it better. Because in the end, the argument here is that financial literacy isn't just about getting rich anymore, it's about survival.